Hello, my name is Craig Cole. Are you tired of playing Wall Street's game? I know I was. I had built up a portfolio from $2,000 to $80,000, and it took me 4 years to build it up to that point. And I was just basically buying and selling stocks. I was also buying options. Anyways, I was highly leveraged. I was using margin, and like I said, I was buying calls. And I had everything tied up in one stock. And within 4 days, I would say, it got cut in half. I lost $40,000. Well, I was completely devastated. I was out of my mind. I immediately sold everything. I took the leftover cash and I bought a car. And when I say I sold everything, I sold all my stocks. I had IRAs. I sold it all. I was so upset. It took me 2 years before I even looked at a financial paper again, or even listened to CNBC. And it was because I had a 401k from a previous job. I needed to roll it over into an IRA. And that's what got me started again. So because it was a self-directed IRA, I had to pick out stocks, and I was still feeling it, the sting. So what I did was I bought ETFs. Figured it was safe. And I don't remember how much exactly I had in there. I think it was like $4,000 or something. Anyways, I bought a few ETFs, and the market was in a correction, and I decided I wanted to buy a put to protect what I had, what gains I had in it. So purely by accident, I had, instead of buying the put option, I sold the put option. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know that you could do that in an IRA. So I was in a panic, and it was at the end of the trading day. And so it kept me up all night. I'm thinking, oh my God, what did I do? I really screwed up. How am I going to correct this? I was beside myself. So the next morning, on the opening bell, I hopped on my computer, and to my surprise, I was able to buy those options back, and I bought them back at a profit. So I thought that was kind of curious. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. Anyways, I closed those options out and bought them back. I put money in my pocket. So I started looking into it, and I knew I couldn't buy calls in the IRA, But it was interesting that I could sell options in the IRA. So I looked into it and come to find out the government considers selling options less risky than buying options. They allow you to buy puts in your IRA, and the reason for that is because it's a form of insurance protection, protecting your portfolio from a downturn. But they won't let you buy them, buy calls. They'll let you sell calls, but they won't let you buy them. And I don't know if that's true today or not, but when I had opened up my IRA, it was true. So all of a sudden, that changed everything. I did a lot of research. It got my mind racing, like what are the possibilities here? And like I said, it changed my life. All of a sudden, now I had control. So I sold off the ETFs that I had and concentrated on selling options. Now, I think the key for selling options, at least for me, is wanting to own the stock or the ETF that you're selling options on. And I was a longtime follower of William J. O'Neill, the founder of Investors Business Daily, and his techniques of picking stocks, I loved. It worked really well. That's the way I was able to build up that portfolio to 80,000, was following his techniques. Now I thought, let's do a little twist, use his techniques to find stocks that I want to own. Now I put another filter into picking out these stocks, is I wanted the intrinsic value higher than what the current market price was, which using William O'Neill's technique is hard to find, but you can find them. I do. And so I've incorporated that. Those are the stocks that I sell options on. And those stocks I want to own them. So I use options to generate cash to buy more shares of that company. And I have I still have the IRA. Now the IRA, I named it my fun account. And basically over the years, that's all I've used it for is fun. And I built it back up. At one point I had it over $130,000. And I cashed it out to put a down payment on the house that I'm currently in. So that drug it down to 10,000. Now, since then, and we've been in this house for going on 4 years now, I've built that portfolio back up to 140,000. And I just selling options. Oh, that's pretty much all I do is sell options. Now I buy stocks to sell the options on, but I sell covered calls. I sell covered puts, secured puts, and I just take that cash and put it back into the stock. I buy more stock. So I dollar cost average those shares because I'm buying them at all different prices. And the reason why I call it my fun account is that's how I used it. I used it for fun money. If I needed extra $500, I sold options, got the $500, and I wasn't worried about withdrawing it, early withdrawal penalties and all that. To me, the option money was fun money. It was free. I set all this up for win-win. I wanted the stock. I had no worries about it being taken away. If it did, I've only had my stock taken away a couple times, and that was because I already had a nice profit in it. I really didn't particularly care if it got taken away or not. But I was never serious about it. Well, since 2023, I have decided to get serious about it and really concentrate on building up that portfolio to a significant amount of value. And doing it with the approach that I do, it's amazing to me how quickly I'm able to build it back up. Especially since I haven't drawn any money out of it recently. If you use these techniques, it will change your life. It will change everything. Suddenly, I have control. I'm not hoping and praying that my stock appreciates in price. I really don't care. What I'm after is the option premium. It doesn't matter to me whether the stock appreciates or not. Right now, with I own GigaCloud, and I've been concentrating on building that position up. And I've bought that particular stock at all different levels. I've paid as high as $30 a share for it. I've paid as little as $15. But I've sold over $42,000 worth of options on that thing. And I've only been trading it for 13 months. So I don't remember what the original amount of shares that I owned of that particular company, but it wasn't much. And currently we have 3,600 shares of it. And my goal here is to accumulate enough shares that I can sell options every single month. I want to sell 10 options a month, which 10 options equal 1,000 shares. So in order for me to do that, I need 12,000 shares so I can do it every single month. I don't want to stagger it. That's a hell of a lot of shares. But like I said, it's been amazing that since I haven't been drawing out any money, how quickly I can build this up. And if you would like to have more information on how I do this and how I pick my stocks, I'm more than willing to share. You can visit coltechinvestments.com. I have several videos on there. Matter of fact, this is my anniversary for being on YouTube. 1 month. Been on YouTube 1 month. And I would like to know what your current situation is. Do you own stocks? What is your portfolio like? Is it underwater? Like currently, GigaCloud is underwater. I bought that stock at $23.49 is my average share cost, and it's currently trading at 20. But like I said, I've collected $42,000 in premium. So that small paper loss I have doesn't concern me. All I want is more shares so I can sell more options. Now, if you think about that, if I'm able to sell 10 options a month and get $1 an option, that's $1,000 a month. And then roll that back into the stock. Well, what's nice about this is if I can get it to expire every single month. Let's take, for example, I have a January option that expires. I will take that, if it's a covered call or a covered put, I'll take that cash or stock and sell the next option a year out. So I'm collecting the maximum amount of premium because it's a year span. And now instead of collecting, because eventually, now instead of collecting $1,000 a month, I could be collecting up to $5,000 a month. That to me is incredible. Imagine making an extra $5,000 a month for doing what? Doing what you're going to do anyways. You're going to purchase more shares. And I know there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that when you sell a covered call that you're capping your gains. Matter of speaking, that's true. But they don't seem to talk about that, the fact that you could roll these options. And what I mean by rolling is, say that option is getting close or is over the strike price. Okay, let's use GigaCloud as an example. Currently it's trading at $20 a share. I have a covered call on it for 18. So theoretically, I'm underwater $2. We'll forget about what premium I collected. We'll just say we're $2 underwater. Now, depending on how close that option is to expiration, will determine how far out I have to roll it. And you can do what's called a diagonal roll, where I sold that covered call at an $18 strike price. I can do a diagonal roll and sell it for 25 strike price, just further out. And because I want to set it up so these options are expiring every month, I can go a year out and do a diagonal roll. And what that does is, because there's so much premium because of the time, it will cover any costs that I need to buy those options back and then sell another option. Again, and that way I keep on doing that and I never sell a share. Recently I had to do that. I had sold a covered call and it was getting close to expiration and it was underwater. I only had a couple weeks left. So I did a diagonal roll, but I sold it 3 months out. And the reason why I did 3 months is because it gave me the premium I needed to cover the cost of buying those options back. Plus, it gave me $300 more of cash in my pocket. So I didn't have to sell a single share. I didn't get the stock taken away. So as far as what you're hearing about you're capping your gain, that's not true. And to be truthful with you, I don't follow the stock market minute by minute. I do check it every now and then, but I'm not really too concerned about it. I'm not out for the stock appreciation. I sell these options to just generate cash, and that's cash in my pocket. As soon as I sell an option, they deposit that money in my account. And you're talking about an options market that's over $32 million a day. A day. That's huge. And I've never had to worry about selling it. There's always somebody willing to buy them. And like I said, you do have to kind of manage things and keep an eye on them, but it's not like you're stuck at the computer or none of that. To me, it's so simple. I understand that options are very complex and they can seem very overwhelming, but the way I do it is very simple. There's a lot of things that you do have to understand and consider, but I think the number one is you have to want to own that stock. That makes things a lot simpler. Because you imagine if you wanted to sell a covered put. Now, if you're just selling a secured put just because you want the option premium, you really don't want that stock, then why do it? Because you're going to be worried about that trade the whole time because you really don't want it. So you're going to be nervous about it. Any kind of market fluctuation, that's a very uncomfortable position to be in. So if you set it up so you want those stocks, it's no big deal where the market moves. If it goes down and you get the stock, you're happy. If it goes up and you don't get the stock, you're still happy because you get to do it again. So that's what I talk about in my other videos, is win-win. like, if you have a portfolio right now that's underwater, you can repair it with options, selling options. But number one is, do you still want to own that stock? Do you really want it? Or you're just interested in recovering your cash, your loss? If you're just interested in recovering your loss, myself, I would get out of it, take the loss, take the bite, find a stock that you really do want. You really want to hang on to. And I'm talking about hanging on to it for 5 or 10 years, and sell options on that. And your first trade should be a covered put option. That way you can name your price that you want to pay for that stock. And if you get that price, you're loving it. If you don't get it, you're loving it. You get to do it again. And then once you get it, once it's stocks put to you, then you can sell covered calls on it. And you just keep on doing this. And you keep on purchasing more of the stock that you already want. And then you keep on building that portfolio up to sell more options. Win-win. To me, this is a no-brainer. I would really like you to put a comment in. What kind of questions do you have? What stops you from doing this? What kind of help do you need? What's your situation? I would love to talk with you. I would love to hear your comments. What's the hesitation? Thank you for listening to me.